Okay.
We're live. Welcome, everybody. This is a very special evening. We have with us Kedrick Vandekar, Mr. X. He's going to be answering all your questions today about yield farming. We want to start off right off the bat by just saying thank you. Thank you to the community. Thank you to everybody for expressing your kind thoughts and your prayers for Kedrick's mom. He's actually in California where Kedrick's mom is. And so I just wanted to hand it over to you, Kedrick, and see if you can share your thanks with the audience.
I really, really appreciate it. And I'm happy to report that, it was very, very scary last week. She was in the ICU. She has had a miraculous recovery. So your thoughts and prayers are much appreciated. It was pretty scary there. So I remember, Dave, when I called you up, I was like, man, I'm sorry. There's no way I just was not in a emotional state to be able to speak to anybody yesterday. And so, last week, but I really appreciate everybody. And I'm, sorry we had to delay this. I was very much so looking forward to talking, meeting everybody and interacting, but obviously family's got to come first. And so I appreciate your understanding with that, and happy to make it up for you now and give you the insights and learnings of what I picked up over the last couple of years. So again, thanks for the on that.
Absolutely. And it says a lot about Kedrick's character that he was even kind of considering, doing that live event. And I was like, no, let's take care of your mom first.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that willingness though, Kedrick, and you're a good guy. So today, the way we're going to do this tonight is we're going to go through a brief recap of the 5 lessons that we went through, and this will help kind of jog your memory. It'll help you to understand, what exactly you learned over the last 5 lessons, and then we're going to share some of about Kedrick's 6-week masterclass about yield farming. If this 5 lesson and other videos that we've posted here for you, if these things have piqued your interest and you're like, man, this is the ticket, this is what I want to do, I want to be a yield farmer, I want to build and multiply my money that way, then I can't recommend any other course better than Kedrick's masterclass. So he's going to talk a little bit about his masterclass, what you get in that. And then after that, we're going to open up to Q&A, and Kedrick's going to answer your questions live. I already have a bunch of questions that I've written down from when you guys have been asking them in the group. And then we're going to be wide open to answer any questions that you have live here as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead, Kedrick, and have you go ahead and give us a little recap of the 5 lessons that we learned. The first one, I guess I'll guide you through each one.
Sure.
Yeah, the first one was, we talked about how to find yield farms, right?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I think it's important to recognize, Dave, you're aware of this, but maybe the audience doesn't. I actually have a hedge fund that does yield farming for corporate treasuries and high net worth individuals. And the stuff that I'm teaching you right now is exactly the way that we approach yield farming for our hedge fund. So we're doing this in a professional capacity. And so I'm happy to kind of share this, and teaching is close to my heart. So you're getting the insights as to, how our professionals going about and actually doing this. So with that, obviously kind of the first lesson, of course, is how do you find a yield farm, and the process by which, the kind of ins and outs of where do you actually locate this? So, and hopefully you got that from the lesson. Decentralized finance is moving really, really fast. And so you ultimately have got to have multiple sources for being able to identify farms and source farms. And ultimately, the more places you have to look, the more options you have. And that does something called increasing what's called your risk-adjusted return, which just means if you have more options, you have a better opportunity to pick a farm that's that gives you the highest yield for the least amount of risk, right? So ultimately, finding farms is critical. And so I wanted to obviously hit on that point and just reiterate that. And I see your notes here. I'm happy to just jam on this, Dave, if you want me to get on this list.
Well, let's save those for the Q&A session. I want to do a quick recap. Also, if you guys want Kedrick to demonstrate some of this stuff, just let us know, and he'll be happy to do that as well during the Q&A session. So So that's number one, how to find yield farms. Let's go to number two, how to determine risk and choose good farms.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the second lesson.
And yeah. And again, when we think about yield, and again, this is exactly what we do within our hedge fund, right? When we think about risk, risk comes down to two factors. What do I need to hold and where do I need to hold it? So what do I need to hold is that what are the assets that you're buying, right? What am I in possession of while I'm on it? Because if you're holding assets that fluctuate in value, then the value of your principal is fluctuating. And so you need to have a good understanding of that particular risk. And then secondarily, it's where do I need to hold it? And ultimately, when you're yield farming, what you're doing is you're locking crypto assets into smart contracts on the blockchain. You need to understand that there are risks associated with when you actually do that, right? So if those smart contracts are not well written or have something wrong with them, or you're depositing money with bad guys, then that's a problem, right? And so ultimately, a lot of yield farming comes down to just controlling your risks really effectively. And understanding your risks and controlling those risks, because we know how much we're making, right? It's advertised on the site. We see the yield. So it's not really a question of like, well, how much am I going to, like, everything comes down to risk reward, right? We know what the reward is because it's advertised on the site. So it all comes down to your risks and being able to effectively manage those risks and mitigate and lessen those risks, right? And so that's definitely kind of what our masterclass is all about, is really digging in and understanding that. And once you can do that, you can be dangerous, right? You can do extremely well.
Right.
But it's kind of the key aspect to think about. What do I need to hold and where do I need to hold it? That's what drives risk.
Awesome. And in lesson number 3, we talked about, we actually showed you step by step how Kedrick builds a yield farm. And we also need to understand, as he said in that lesson, there's different types of yield farms as well. And he showed us one step by step, and then showed us how it actually starts making money right away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And look, the steps that we go through to build a yield farm are almost identical. So once you understand some of the basics of how this all fits together, you're ready to go, right? You got to understand, okay, I need to own certain assets. I need to typically deposit those into, remember from the lessons, into an automated market maker. I get LP tokens, right? And then once you have those LP tokens, I got to deposit those into a farm to get the additional rewards that are associated with providing liquidity. Okay, so that process is the same. I don't care what blockchain you're farming on. I don't care, what you're doing. Typically, that's the same. And so with that lesson, right, we were going through those key steps. And so once you understand that, then you've got some of the basic aspects. Now, there's always corner cases and potential like gotchas, but the foundation of what you're doing when you're yield farming is we're going to click some buttons and effectively create an online money machine. And that's really, that's what we're doing. And so, yeah, the good thing is once you understand that basic aspect, you're ready to go, right? You're ready to that doesn't really materially change when you build all kinds of different types of farms. So
yeah, what's funny is I built 1 or 2 yield farms over the last week, and you're so right in that. The way I look at it is, getting the LP tokens and then depositing those LP tokens, that kind of thing. That's almost like your rails on a train track that guides you step by step to what you should be doing. So once you know that framework of what your goal is and how you're going to achieve that goal, the rest becomes a little easier. So like anything new, and I want to mention this to everybody, like anything new, it takes a while to achieve mastery, right? At first, you might feel like, man, I'm stumbling through this. Am I doing this right? That kind of thing. That's why a masterclass like Kedrick's comes in so handy, because he can give you those rails and guide you step by step through that class, through those courses and training and guides and things, so that you're doing it right. You're not questioning so much, and you're on the right track. So number 4 was your monopoly strategy for building a portfolio.
Yeah. And this is really the where all these concepts come together, right? So I don't care who you are, even if you're want to go as risky as possible or as safe as possible, you have to have a diversified approach. there's a saying in finance, like there's no such thing as a free lunch except for diversification.
Nice.
So what we're doing when we're actually diversifying is we're spreading out our risk. And when you understand the risks and some of the basics around yield farming, right, what you're prepared to do is to say, okay, I know what risks I'm taking on with each of these different yield farms. Now I can actually choose a portfolio which makes sense for me personally. And that's a deeply intimate process, right? Everybody's got their own risks and things that they do. And so ultimately, what my masterclass is designed to do is to help you help to understand what those risks are, and then help you ultimately help guide you towards understanding and building and assembling a portfolio with a different blend of assets that makes sense for you. And that's really the magic of this, right? And I think in the example I shared, we advocated for in the lower risk scenario, right? We advocated for a portfolio of effectively 70% stable coins, which is essentially cash, 15% high risk, which is blue chip crypto assets, and 15% extreme risk. Now that means that 85% of your assets, right? The 70% plus the 15% of high risk, 85% of your assets are either cash or long-term assets. And the blended returns of that portfolio is 39% per year, which matches the returns of Renaissance Technology, the best performing hedge fund of all time. So when I tell that to bankers, right, when I tell that to traditional finance, they're like, their mind is blown that this is actually possible. You're sitting 70% cash and you're matching the returns of the best performing hedge fund. Blows people's minds. But that's the power of this, right? That's the power of decentralized finance and yield farming is people are able to get amazing returns, be liquid, right? You can turn that into cash tomorrow. You're not locked up, and that's cash flowing, right? That's the best performing hedge. Guys, 39.6% per year returns is out of this world good returns. Like blows everything away. No, like in traditional finance, they're going to tell you that's unheard of, and it is, except for like one firm, Renaissance Technology. And so like, that's why this is so amazing. And obviously that's the lower end. Like if you wanted to go more risk, then it can go really, really crazy. Right. And so that's kind of the path that I took. And that sort of goes into, I think kind of where everybody always wants to know what was Kedrick's path. Right. But let me pause there. But
yeah, it's so true. I love that you can go 39% with most of your money in cash, which means super, super safe. Like, incredibly safe.
Yeah.
And also you can add return if you want. You can add 100% farm here, 150% farm here, and so on, right? I don't know about anybody else here, but I've experienced some of those trendy DeFi 2.0, they're called dApps or they're called DAOs, or even some of these node projects and things like that. And I've done good in some, and I've lost money in others. And like, I think what Kedrick's saying is you don't have to play that game of jumping into extremely high risk stuff where your money is very likely to be lost. You don't have to play that game. This is very different. This is much more stable, I guess you could say. This is much more secure, I guess you could say, versus that, compared to that. So, because we did get a lot of questions, Kedrick, from a variety of people saying, hey, what do you think about this, dApp and this DAO and this? And I was trying to steer them to go, look, we don't need to jump into the latest, newest thing that might quickly rug pull when you've got something so viable here and so great here,
Yeah. And what I will say is like the right mix, by the way, a little bit of that super risky stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
The right mix. There is portfolio 90+% stable coins, which is right, effectively cash, and and just a little bit of that super stuff. So you're not really maybe 5 or 10% at risk.
Kedrick, you're breaking up just a little. If you could, I don't know if you could.
Oh, let me see. Range. Hopefully my connection is a little bit. Is that any better now?
It seems a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm at my parents' house, so the internet's not too shy. So there is a portfolio out there, which again is primarily cash. 90+% that's able to go out and get 20 to 30% returns. That is definitely possible. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's like, and by the way, 20 to 30% return out of returns, like, and talk to any financial advisor and you're hold cash. So that is possible.
Yeah, it looks like you're still breaking up. I would suggest turning off your camera. That usually is the first thing we can
okay.
we can do to fix it.
Okay. Hopefully my audio is still coming through okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's go into the
back on. Hopefully I'll turn it back on in a few minutes. Hopefully it sorts out by then.
Let's talk about the lesson 5, which was your snowball strategy, which was kind of an example of how you built your portfolio.
Yes.
And this is screen share, so it should be fine.
Okay, perfect. Everybody kind of wants to know. I know that some people had a chance hopefully to watch that last video. And so we will just jam on this and hopefully 1 second, guys. So hold on, I'm going to do this.
Sure thing.
Screen share. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, hopefully that's okay. Works out there. Great. All right. So again, this is kind of the path that I took. Yield farm, I took a more aggressive approach, right? This is where I'm getting a good bit of my money in what we called extreme risk farms. If you remember the risk lessons, I was going pretty risky initially. Okay. And so, and this is where I was putting effectively all my money into the extreme risk farms, paying about 1% per day. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is really quickly, I know this is a review for some folks, but hopefully show you the power of this, is I'm going to walk through this and I will talk about where my exact plan derivated from kind of this, but I want to show you the power of how much this can actually grow. Okay. So in this example, we're going to be starting out with $5,000 in it. You don't have $5,000. You can obviously start with, but for this example, we're going to start with, let's say $5,000. And again, you're in extreme risk yield farms paying 1% per day. That's $50 a day, right? 1% of $5,000, $50 a day. So after we're $500.
Hey, Kedrick, you're still kind of breaking up here.
I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see.
I don't know if there's anything else we can do.
Let me try one. Hopefully, go with me. I'm gonna get a little router. Sorry, guys. Yeah. We're doing it. We're doing it. Doing the best we can here. 1 second. Yeah. Hopefully, this will make it a little bit better for you. Sorry.
And by the way, everybody, I appreciate your questions. I see a question from Gera, from Rajesh. I see a question from Roberto and from Andrea. I see your questions everywhere. I see them on Facebook. I see them here in Zoom. It's great. So we will be answering those. And we're going to lean toward the people who are asking these questions here right on this live event first, since you made the time to be here. And then we will also answer the questions that I saw throughout the week as we were doing the lessons and posting them day by day.
Okay, Dave, is that any better? Can you hear me now?
That sounds much better. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So again, we started out with first yield farm. Again, for this example, let's say it's $5,000. Invested 1% per day. That's $50 a day. Okay. Dave, you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
So after 10 days, right, at $50 a day, we've got, this turns out to be $500 in profit, right? $500 in profit from that first yield farm. So that then gets invested into building yield farm number 2. So now we've got $5,000 a day, $5,000 earning $50 a day, plus yield farm number 2, which is $500 at 1% per day, earning $5 a day. Okay, that's after 10 days. After 20 days, we got another $500. And what we're going to do is we're going to invest that into yield farm number 3. Okay, and that again is going to be paying $5 a day. Okay, after another 10 days, so that's 30 days after we first build our first farm, we've got another $500. What we're going to do is we're going to use that money, those profits, to be able to build yield farm number 4. Okay, and so now we've got that, plus we've got 20 days of yield farm number 2 paying $5 a day, which is $100, plus we've got 10 days of yield farm number 3 paying $5 a day. So that's $50. Okay. So what we're doing now is we're going to be investing all those profits into yield farm number 4, which is $650 at 1% per day is $6 a day. Now you see, we grew from $5 a day to $6 a day. We're going to press the pedal to the metal on that. I'm going to show you how this grows. Okay. So that's after that. So after 1 month, just to recap this, right? We've got 4 yield farms live. Right? We still got the first one that we built, that $5,000 farm earning 1% per day is $50 a day, plus these other ones. And again, notice yield farm number 4 grew. That's now paying out $6.50 a day. So we've got a cash flow of $67 per day. That's annual passive income of $24,000 per year. Okay. Let's go. Where does this go next? Right. Again, we're reinvesting all of these profits to build more yield farms. So after 2 months, doing the same exact thing, this spider web strategy, we're reinvesting profits. After 2 months, we've got 7 yield farms that are live. Some, the initial farm's paying $5, but look at this. Yield farm number 7 is paying $7 a day, cash flowing to the tune of $88 a day, $32,000 a year in passive income. Okay. That's after 2 months. That means that if we didn't do anything else, we just cash flowed this, we didn't reinvest anything, we'd have $32,000 a year in passive income. After 3 months, we've got 10 yield farms, cash flowing $110 a day, equaling $40,000 a year in passive income. 4 months, cash flowing. And by the way, right about 4 months, this is right about when I started taking cash out to actually live my lifestyle. So this is, I want to call that out. This is where my particular approach does derivate, right? I started to take money out and just, live off it. I was reinvesting some, but I was definitely living off a good bit of it. So after 4 months, we've got, again, the lowest paying yield farms are $5 a day, up to $12 a day. That's cash flowing $139 a day, $50,000 a year in profits. 5 months, we've got 16 yield farms live between $5 and $15 a day, cash flowing $178 or $64,000 a year. 6 months, this is where it starts getting serious here. I mean, we're talking about cash flowing to the tune of, we got 19 yield farms live, cash flowing $228 a day. That's $83,000 a year in passive income. Okay. 7 months is the magic. This is where magic starts happening, right? Now we've got 22 yield farms live, cash flowing $293 a day, earning passive income of $106,000 a year. Okay. This is the dream scenario. Everybody always asks, they always come back to like, when can I make $100,000 a year in passive income? Okay. In this approach, that's in 7 months. Okay. This is why this stuff is blowing up. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Okay. Just to get really interesting with this, after 15 months, okay, after 15 months doing this exact strategy, reinvesting profits, you're cash flowing $3,090 a day. That's passive income of $100,000 a year, over $100,000 a year in passive income. Okay.
$1 million a year.
I'm sorry, excuse me, over $1 million a year in passive income. Yeah, that's the power of this, right? That's why this is blowing up. That's why this industry is exploding. That's why people are going nuts over decentralized finance. This is possible here. Okay, this is like, I've worked in my entire career in tech. I've never ever seen anything like this before. Okay, so that's I want to just, with that, obviously just take a pause, because this has changed my life, and again, other people who've been through this program is changing other people's lives, because this type of scenario is actually possible. Okay, so I got a quick question for everybody. If we had a proven business model or proven way to be able to make money, plus a step-by-step guide on exactly how to execute it, plus a strategy for how to set all of this up, do you think this could actually work for you? And over the last I guess 10 days or so, we've come at you with a lot of information. It probably has felt a little bit overwhelming. And a lot of people might be feeling a little bit like this, like, okay, yield farming feels like something really interesting. And it feels like this might be the future, but like you may sort of want some help to actually to kind of figure this stuff out. If it's okay, I do want to spend, Dave, it's okay. I just want to spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes to go over this kind of special offer to kind of share with people how I can, actually help them to really get started as quickly as possible with this. If that's okay. I don't know if we can get a hand raise or anything.
I know a lot of people already are here for this, so they're interested. They're definitely interested.
Okay, perfect. So when I was really deciding on wanting to build a business that taught other people how to yield farm, I sat down, I thought about really all the problems and pain that I went through. And I then built out a corresponding solution for each of those problems. And again, trying to give you the easiest path I could to be able to start making money with yield farming. And so really that's what I want to share is I want to talk about all these different tools, which again, I've engineered based off of my own experience, my own pain points I've went through to be able to have the success I've had. I'm producing over $1,800 a day in passive income with this, and had a lot of other, professional success with it. And these are the tools that I think everybody would need to be able to make this as easy as possible to help you start making money with yield farming, life-changing money with yield farming. And the first of this is my Yield Farming Masterclass. Now this is where I teach everybody everything I know, from strategy to the exact tactics that I use to help you be able to achieve life-changing income. My 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass it covers really the key aspects of this, right? So week 1, we go over overview and strategies. Week 2, we talk about tools. Week 3, we show you how to identify a yield farm. Week 4, we walk you through creating your first yield farms. Week 5, we teach you how to track your results. And week 6, we cover how to actually manage your yield farms. Okay, but this is not just work for me. Other people who've been through this exact same program, through the masterclass as well. Ewan from Sacramento is a great example of this. I love Ewan. He's tends to be pretty skeptical of things as I am, but he said, I'm usually pretty skeptical at everything I come across, but I tried out, boss, and was surprised by how much you can make off of yield farming. David from Las Vegas. David's actually pretty interesting. David's been investing in cryptocurrencies since 2017. And he says, yield farming is amazing. And boss has been awesome in helping me figure out how to start yield farming quickly. Nikki from Danville. From start to finish, this guide was specific and easy to follow. I'm so excited to have a way to make passive income. Now I get to sit back and watch it grow. And Brian from San Diego. The ability to make passive income this easily seems like a no-brainer. So again, who does this work for? Who is this program really designed for? Well, if you're a beginner, let's say you don't even know anything about cryptocurrencies. Okay, maybe this Facebook group is the first time you've ever been introduced to the concept of cryptocurrencies. This will work for you. Maybe you're intermediate. Maybe you own some cryptocurrencies. Maybe you even traded them before. But you now want to try to learn how to actually earn passive income with your cryptocurrency holdings. This course is amazing for you as well. Or maybe you're advanced. Maybe you've even built yield farms before. I mean, you want to be able to have a more deliberate approach towards your yield farming efforts. This course will work for you as well. So again, here's what you're going to get, right? My 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, total value of $2,997. Okay, so what else? Well, one of the first problems that I encountered when I first started building yield farm was actually just being able to track all these different farms. And that's why I developed my yield farm tracking template. Okay, tracking yield farms was actually a big problem for me. And that's I built this system to be able to handle this beautifully. Okay, so what are you going to be able to get with this? Well, it's embarrassing, but I actually lost a good bit of money just being disorganized. And so being able to actually track this, and this template helps you track these results and track your yield farms as effectively and efficiently as possible. So with this, you're going to be able to track your yield farms, again, as efficiently as possible. It also helps you maximize your profits by being able to help you plan out your strategy to be able to optimize your profits. It's going to help you get rid of losing money from disorganization. Again, this is a problem that I had. And also wasting time trying to figure out what to track and what to ignore. Okay, this stuff can feel really confusing. If you're not really well organized, you can lose a lot of money. So this helps you know what to track, know how to track it, how to access that information fast. This tool turns you into a veteran level yield farmer instantly. Okay, so here's what you're going to get. My 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, total value of $4,994. Okay, but how do you actually do this, right? You might still be wondering, like, okay, how do I actually, I want to know specifically step-by-step how to do this. And that's why we've built our step-by-step guides to help you handle any scenario you come across with yield farming. Okay, this is what I had to figure out. Like behind this is actually a flow diagram of the different corner cases, use cases, different things that could go wrong when it comes to yield farming. Okay, and again, this is what I wish that I had, that I had to suffer through to try to figure this out. Being early in any technology without a blueprint or step-by-step guide can be extremely painful to try to figure out. And that's, again, these step-by-step guides help you avoid all of this pain by walking you through every single screen, every single button, okay? And that's, by the way, this is the secret. This is why I'm able to help anybody, even if they don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, to be able to do this, because these guides take away all the guesswork, right? I mean, it's explicit. It's like, go to this website, scroll down the page, click this button, put a number in here, click this button, scroll up, go to this website. Literally every single situation you might encounter is handled with these guides. Okay, so here's some of the things that we cover, right? How to build a yield farm, how do I buy a token, how do I track my results, how do I harvest my farm, how do I send crypto, how do I withdraw my funds, how do I connect my bank account, etc. Again, every scenario that you're going to come across is handled in these guides. That's why we're able to help anybody do this. Okay, so remember, I don't know if I mentioned the Lego example previously, but if you can do this, if you can follow a Lego guide, right? This step one, use this piece, and you're able to follow a guide that is that simple, then you can do this. Remember, I'm trying to give you every single tool that I wish that I had to help make you successful with this and help you do this get started and start making money as fast as humanly possible. Okay. So again, here's what you're going to get: my 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, my Yield Farm step-by-step guides, total value of $7,491. Okay, but where are you going to get the money to start out with this? And again, this is the exact problem that I had, is I needed to get access to more funds to even start yield farming. Okay, this was again the problem I had. That's why we built the Yield Farm Funding Hack Guide. Okay, now what this does is it's going to help you be able to get initial access to some more capital, help you start yield farming. It also helps you avoid losing money from avoidable mistakes and wasting weeks of time. Again, I'm trying to give you every tool that I wish that I had when I was getting started. So again, here's what you're going to get: my 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, my Yield Farm step-by-step guides, my Yield Farm funding hacks, total value of $9,988. What if you have a question? I mean, when I was getting started, I had all kinds of questions. I didn't have anybody to turn to. Okay, it's completely reasonable. Even with all these different guides, sometimes people have questions. It's completely reasonable. It's why we built our Boss Financial private Facebook group. This is for paid members of our community only. Okay, so with this private Facebook group, this is a great way to be able to get answers to your questions quickly, right? Get help, support. You get stuck on something, you're having a hard time figuring something out. That's where literally I myself, as well as other members of our team, as well as other members of the community, are here together, right? This is our tribe. You're not alone on this. This is our tribe of people that we're all in this together. We're all trying to help each other to be successful with this. Okay. And it's an amazing resource for that exact reason. Right. So with this, you're going to be able to rapidly get answers to any questions you have. You get stuck on something, you can't figure something out, you turn to here, you get answers quickly. You also be able to connect with other yield farmers to be able to share ideas. One of the things I love about our community so much is the fact that we share ideas with each other. In fact, I have gotten ideas about other yield farms to build from our community. It's amazing. It also helps, one of the most interesting things is how much people value building lasting relationships with other people in decentralized finance who see the world in the same way, right? If you're here, then you think that maybe the financial system we've all been operating on is rigged against us, and there's a better way out there. Okay, if you believe that, then this is for you. This is the group for you. If you believe that there's other ways for us to be able to take control back, take the control of our money back, this is amazing for you. And with this, you're gonna be able to get rid of the pain and hassle of needing to figure all this stuff out on your own, right? And wasting time trying to track down all these problems by yourself, right? This is, again, I'm trying to give every resource that I wish that I had when I was getting started to help make you successful with this, right? So again, here's what you're going to get. My 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, my Yield Farm step-by-step guides, my Yield Farming funding hacks, and the Boss private Facebook group, 6 months free, total value of $11,485. So I have a question. If all this did was help teach you how to consistently earn 20% interest on your cash, would it be worth it? If all it did was make you an expert on an emerging industry that could become worth $17 trillion, would it be worth it? If all it did was to help you just build one farm that paid you $100 every day, would it be worth it? When I was getting started with this, again, I really had two choices. Right? I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but it really wouldn't incentivize me to try to stack up the value. The second option requires a little bit higher investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources, right? And help ensure your success with this. So what would the end result actually be worth, right? Let's get down to brass tacks on this. What is one farm earning you passive income worth? Is it worth $5,000? Is it worth $10,000? How much did you pay to get one farm earning you 100% ROI in annual passive income? Okay, so when I got started, this is how much it costs. It cost me $57,000 to try to figure this out in terms of mistakes. Now all the learning cost to get to here. Okay, now I'm making over $1,800 a day personally from yield farming. So hopefully now you can see why venture capitalists and investors pay me $3,000 an hour to help teach them this stuff. It's because they don't look at this as a cost. They look at it as an investment. Okay, so now you can see why this is probably a pretty good deal at $5,000. You can see why it's a great deal for the general public at $19.97. But again, because you guys have stuck through it all the way to here, I appreciate that you've been through this entire all these learnings. I'm going to offer this to you right now for $997. Okay, to get access to this exact offer, you need to go to learnfromked.com. Dave, maybe you can post that in the chat, and we can give them the link to actually get access to this.
Yep, I'll post that.
Yeah, and again, this is a special offer, right? We normally, this is not the price. We're normally charging $19.97 for this exact package. Okay, so again, go to learnfromked.com if you want to get access to this offer at this price point. I mean, this is a limited time, right? We're not gonna keep it at this price forever. So you do need to act on this quickly if you want to get access at this price point. So my challenge for you is this, and it's actually pretty simple. Join this program today and build one farm. Okay, I say one farm because I've seen what happens, right? It happens time and time again. Everybody who goes through a course, the moment they build their first farm, everything clicks. They see the potential of this system. They see the world in a new way. It changes what they expect from their money. It changes what they expect their money to be doing for them. Now, I've given you every single tool that you need to be successful, right? So now you ultimately have two choices, right? The first option is to do nothing, right? Not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. The second option is to pony up this small investment, compared to all the value that you're actually getting in return, and give this a shot. And give yourself the gift of that one farm, building that one farm. That one farm, when I built my first farm, it changed my life. It changed how I see the world. It changed how I see money and what should be doing for it. It changed me how I can think about trying to achieve financial freedom. by the way, it's I see it time and time again, what happens when people build that first farm. And that's why I'm just saying, just give this a try. And again, if I can't make you money, I don't deserve to have yours. Okay. It's why I offer a 30-day money back guarantee. Okay. Sign up today. And if you don't like it for any reason, I don't care if it doesn't matter the reason why. If you come back to me 29 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes from now, you just let me know and we're going to send your money back to you. Okay. So the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which again, if it does half of what we've claimed over this kind of last week, it does half of what we've shown you what can pay for itself as soon as your first farm is live. So again, here's what you're going to get, right? My 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, my Yield Farm step-by-step guides, my Yield Farm funding hacks, and the Boss private Facebook group, 6 months access, absolutely free. Total value of $11,485 that you're getting today for $997. I'm going to sweeten the deal though. For the first 50 people that sign up, I'm going to offer the Ked's personal yield farming picks. Okay. This is a list of farms that I've gone through along with the people on my team to be able to select farms in all the different categories, right? In all the different categories that we think are really interesting potential places to put your money. Again, it's assembled through lots and lots of research to be able to find these farms. And this is the layup, right? This is like, how do we make this as simple and easy as possible for people to get started, right? Help make you money as quickly as possible. That's literally what the bonus offers is trying to help you do, right? Again, so again, here's what you're going to get, right? My 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, my Yield Farm step-by-step guides, my Yield Farm funding hacks, the Boss private Facebook group, 6 months free, total value of $11,485. Okay, plus the bonus offer of Ked's personal Yield Farm portfolio picks. All this package for $997. Okay, $11,485 value that you're getting for $997. Normal price is twice this. Okay, so if you want to get access to this exact offer plus this bonus offer, you got to go to learnfromked.com. It's right there on the screen. Hopefully, it's in the chat as well, and sign up to be able to get access to this. Okay, with that, I'm going to pause there. And maybe hopefully be able to turn my video back on, and maybe I got good enough connection again to be able to let's see here. Hopefully
it was sounding much better. So yeah, I think we should be good.
Okay, great.
Guys, I just have to reiterate, this is such an incredible opportunity to learn from Kedrick, learn from a master yield farmer who's doing amazingly well with his yield farms. And here's another thing I kind of thought about as you were going through this presentation here, Kedrick, was this game is changing all the time. It's so new and it's so big that it's changing all the time.
Yeah.
And so you really need somebody like Kedrick in your corner to guide you and to let you know about new things that are happening. I've learned a lot of new things happening just in the Facebook group, and also security things, important security things, where there may be issues that you need to take care of, updates you need to do, and Kedrick will pop in there and he'll let you know exactly what to do. So this is not just a course that you can go and take on your own and then you're kind of left on your own. With that Facebook group, you get Kedrick's really important updating and help and guidance beyond when you take the course. So Kedrick, we already have some people in the course. I want to congratulate them.
All right, yeah.
I don't have their names here, but if you did invest, go ahead and let us know in the chat and whatnot. And we do have a couple of questions right off the bat. One person said, "Can we pay in crypto?" So I thought that was an interesting question since we're dealing in crypto.
Yeah, of course. We're open to that. So if you want to, Dave, I think we can handle that, right? Are you?
I think so.
With that kind of approach?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and so my email is just my first name, KEDRIC @boss.financial. go ahead and shoot me an email if you want to pay in crypto, and we can get it sorted that way.
I posted Kedrick's email there so that you can, that is Rajesh. So Rajesh, the answer is yes. And you can message Kedrick there at kedrick@boss.financial. It's not boss.financial.com. It's just boss.financial. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. We also have a couple other questions. What will be the cost? Roberto says, what will be the cost of the private Facebook group after 6 months?
Yeah, so it comes out to about $249 per month. That seems like a lot, but once you're in the Facebook group, you understand the value of it. I mean, it pays for itself like one yield farming idea pays for itself pretty quickly. So, but again, it's 6 months free, right? So if it's not resoundingly clear that it's worth that, then you'll know by that point. And so that's why we. But the thing is, we actually do have we have paid employees who have to go in there and make sure that things are moderated correctly and questions and responses get done. So there is an actual cost there. So that's why we do we do need to make sure that it doesn't lose money type thing.
Yeah, we're getting some good questions. Gary Smith said, yes, I'm looking for help. So Gary, this is where you get the help, this 6-week masterclass. And by the way, I want to mention also that this is a self-paced masterclass, so it doesn't have to take you 6 weeks.
Yeah,
you could, if you got really focused, you could probably take the entire masterclass in the course of a weekend.
Yep.
And I really like the pacing and the way that the course is laid out. What I do is I take a little bit of time early in the morning to take maybe an hour of it, each day, and that's another good way to do it as well.
Yeah.
So we had another question. I thought we had a question here. Let me see really quick. I might be on a different page. Well, I'll come back to that one. Okay. Now we're going to get into just some of the overall general questions about yield farming.
Yeah, no problem. And
before we do that, just again, this opportunity is amazing. So be sure to go to learnfromked.com to sign up.
Yeah, and I definitely want to call that out just because it's we're not normally offering at this price, right? So if you want to get this and plus the bonus offer, this is the bonus offer is special. Yeah, so I want to call that out. So again, Go to Learn from Ked. Hopefully it's in the chat. We can keep posting and then just make sure people are aware. But no, that's thanks for calling that out, Dave.
Good idea. Now this was a really good question. Does the Roberto said, does the underlying digital currency price fluctuation affect your return even with stable coins?
So it's a good question. So obviously, if you're not holding stable coins, then it would, right? And so that's specifically, that would be kind of high risk and extreme risk farms, right? That's exactly what we're trying to do. And if you remember from the learnings, it's called impermanent loss risk. Now, what you're talking about is with stable coins, some stable coins can what's called lose their peg, which means that they're no longer equal to the value of $1. Now, those tend to be like the more exotic stable coins, that we don't see that with, USDC, even USDT, although I'm not a huge fan of Tether, DAI, those pretty much hold their peg, and have held their peg for years. So I'm not concerned about that. And even within our hedge fund, we don't typically play in the more exotic stablecoins. We just stay with the kind of the more stable stuff, the more stuff that we're expecting. So you need to be really careful when you choose your stablecoins. Okay, you want to make sure that you do want to make sure that you are not. If you're going to invest in a more exotic stablecoin, man, the returns really got to be there, because you get a lot of downside exposure. There have been instances in which some kind of these, more super exotic stablecoins can lose a lot of their value compared to $1. And so you want to be careful with that. So I personally would recommend, kind of sticking to, if you're going to invest in the stablecoins, invest in the big ones, right? Invest in the USDC, invest in USTs. We hold UST as well, DAI, BUSD, GUSD, any of those what are called fiat collateralized stable coins, although DAI is algorithmic as the UST. All those ones are in my opinion fine, and you can go out and get 15-20% returns with those. So you don't need to go down the path of this really exotic brand new stable coins. I personally would probably steer clear unless it's just insane returns, but then we're going to be talking pretty crazy returns to play that game.
Yeah, good answer. We have Mr. Gary Smith says, hi, I'm in Canada and would need some time to come up with the funds. How much time would you give me?
Yeah, and Dave, I'm gonna leave that to you. And you cut the you were the one that was pushing for the super special offer. And I will I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, we're gonna leave this Facebook group live. We're gonna leave it up for about 3 days from here. Hopefully, it gives you enough time, Gary. If you need specific help or a little extension, let us know. Like, let me pop Kedrick's email. But when I did it before, Rajesh, sorry about that. When I did it before, that only went to hosts and panelists. So now I'm gonna publish it so everybody can see it. It's kedrick@boss.financial. And that's for you, Gary, as well. Drop us an email and let us know you need a little bit of time, and we'll see if we can accommodate that. But for sure, we will have this Facebook group up for another 3 days. And at that point, we will be shutting it down and moving forward with our cohort, our group of people. Let's see. So that's for you, Rajesh, and that's for you, Gary. Great answer to that question from Roberto. Let's see. We already asked that question. Joy says, do you have a payment plan?
Unfortunately, not currently. We don't currently have a payment plan. It's something I know that we need to put in place, but unfortunately, don't have a payment plan currently. I'm sorry to say, Joyce.
Okay. And like a lot of people, what they'll do is put it on a credit card or sell something on Facebook Marketplace. There's many different ways to come up with the money on that. Mm-hmm. Gary said, what are your thoughts on Hex?
It's interesting. I have not played in it, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an expert on it. Anytime those types of projects that are highly dependent on additional investor capital coming in, you need to be cautious with. Okay, so I'm not saying don't play it, but I am saying get your initial capital out. And again, I'm saying that from somebody who has many times in the past not gotten my initial capital out and gotten crushed. Okay, so I'm saying that from a point of pain. What I'd say is, anytime you play in those games, and again, there was, anybody was, I don't know if anybody was in the strong stuff, the strong node stuff, but like you want to play with house money when it comes to that. Okay, and they're returning fast enough so that it's very possible to get your initial capital out. So I'd highly advocate for that, and just be cautious about it. But again, it's if it's fitting in an overall diversified portfolio, it could be really interesting. And again, you should be in some of the risky stuff, the hyper crazy risky stuff. You should definitely be in that. You should not be that much, right? I mean, it could be a few percentage points, and that's fine, right? And that blended return you get from that 200, 300, 500% returns makes your portfolio returns insane, and you're not risking that much to get it. So I think it has a place in a diversified portfolio, although I have not personally played in it. Hey, I do want to call this out again. Dave has definitely hooked you guys up here in terms of the offer that we're coming to you with today. So again, my 6-week Yield Farming Masterclass, my Yield Farm tracking template, my Yield Farm step-by-step guides, my Yield Farming funding hacks, and the Boss Private Facebook group, 6 months free, total value of $11,485 plus the bonus offer of Ked's personal Yield Farming portfolio picks. That's the layup, right? That's how do we get you started with this as easy as possible? Normally we're charging twice as much for this, and we don't include the bonus. Today you're getting that value, $11,045 for $997. Okay, so I want to make sure we call that out because it's a bit unusual. And again, if you want to get access to that offer, you need to go to Learn from KED. It's right there on the screen. Just learnfromked.com, and we'll be able to get access to that exact offer. So I do want to call that out since it's a bit unusual.
Awesome. We got another question from Roberto. I'm a slow learner. Will your masterclass explain how to open a wallet, link it, etc.? Also, how much money would you recommend as starting capital? Great questions.
Yes, great questions. So we are, this is designed to be able, so one of the first things that you go through when you buy this program is something called the One Farm Challenge. One Farm Challenge is literally it's like, let's get you making money first. And so it's like, don't think, just watch these, and it's 43 minutes long. It's 7 or 8 different 5-minute videos. Okay. And it's just follow these steps. And we're assuming that you have never had crypto in your life. So first thing we're doing, we're helping you set up your first, what's called a centralized account. So like a Coinbase, something like that. We here are the steps. We don't want you to think, we just want you to start making money. Okay. Then once you are making money and you see, this is why I always say the One Farm Challenge is like, you build that first farm, everything clicks. Okay. That's how it worked for me. So for everybody who goes for a course, it's one thing to see some crazy guy on the internet be making money and you're watching that happen. It's another thing when it's actually your money and you're making money with it. Okay. And so we mention that we get you making money first, and we look at that as the inspiration, because I know once you start making money, you are going to be jazzed to actually go into the masterclass and absorb all that information. Okay. So first thing we do is we get you through the One Farm Challenge. We get you making money. Then it's the masterclass. We think of the One Farm Challenge as the inspiration. The masterclass is the education. Okay. And the inspiration helps you get through all the course materials, but the course materials are designed assuming that you've never owned crypto in your entire life. And so that's why we go through and we give you a glossary, like, here's the terms you need to know. We're not trying to make you a professor on cryptocurrency. It's not, we don't need to do that. We're just trying to give you the necessary information to be able to help you make money with this and be profitable. Okay. So that's really what we've designed, how we built the course out. But it's great questions. And I'm glad thank you for asking it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you guys the extended link. I posted the wrong link apparently, or maybe somehow it just didn't work. So I'm giving the extended link in the chat if you're on Zoom. I'll also post it in the Facebook if you're on Facebook. So we have two different audiences. I'm trying to make sure that we get all the questions answered. This was an interesting question as well, Kedrick. And by the way, we haven't even got to the questions that I recorded during the week. So stand by, guys, because we had a lot of questions to answer here. But the question was from Gara, and she says, what off-ramps into the dollar do you use? Can you go over steps from one of your farms? So basically, she wants to know, how do you convert these LP tokens back into dollars or fiat money?
Okay, yeah. So so let me do that really quickly. All right, so see if I can do a quick example for you.
And you may not have to use an example or show actually step by step. I think the idea is basically, how do you turn it into cash?
Oh, sure. Well, okay. So let's talk about, how do you turn cash into crypto? Because then you'll turn it back into cash. We reverse the process. So this is what we do in the One Farm Challenge, by the way. So first thing is you have to have a centralized exchange, like a Coinbase, a Kraken, a Binance, a KuCoin. There's dozens of them. It doesn't matter. If you already have one, perfect. So, but if you don't, Coinbase is a good option. Really big, reputable company, public traded. Okay. So the first thing you do is you connect your bank to your Coinbase account. Okay. And once they're connected, you can either deposit money via wire transfer. You can deposit it via ACH. You can use a credit card. Okay. And once you have dollars sitting in your Coinbase account, then you can go out and actually buy cryptocurrency. Let's say USDC, which is a stable coin, like US dollar coin, or Ethereum. Okay. And once you have Ethereum, what you do is you deposit that into your decentralized wallet. In the examples you saw, I was using MetaMask. Okay, MetaMask is a decentralized wallet. I realize that these terms might be a little bit confusing. I promise you the masterclass is designed to help break all this down for you. Okay, so do not be concerned about the terminology right now. It gets simple once you can kind of just see it and walk through it a couple of times. So bear with me, okay? So once you have your money or your crypto in, so again, we went from the bank account to Coinbase. From Coinbase, we bought a cryptocurrency like Ethereum, and then we transfer that into our decentralized wallet, like MetaMask, okay? And this is, let's see if I can stop sharing, and I'll share my screen right now. Okay, and this is MetaMask right here. Not logged in, yeah, but this is your MetaMask, and it's just software that lives in your browser, okay? And actually, you're taking control of your cryptocurrencies here, okay? So whenever you go out and yield farm, what you're doing is you're yield farming with the money that's sitting in your decentralized wallet. In this instance, I'm using MetaMask, okay? And so what'll happen is you'll be receiving rewards. So if you saw in the example, right, you get typically paid in some cryptocurrency. I'm not advocating you hold on to it. What you do is you then swap that cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency, let's say US dollar coin. Okay, so I swap the farming rewards, whatever cryptocurrency I farmed, and I swap it for US dollar coin. Okay, now that I have US dollar coin in my MetaMask wallet, so I have my profits in my MetaMask wallet. Now, in order to be able to get this, turn it into cash that I can spend at Starbucks or whatever, what I do is I transfer that US dollar coin from MetaMask. This is exactly what our guides are designed to help you do. There's step-by-step guides that literally walk you through this exact process. So transfer my US dollar coin back into my Coinbase account. Okay, so now I've got US dollar coin sitting in my Coinbase account. And what I do then is I sell my US dollar coin, which is a stable coin, for USD, which is dollars as you and I know them. Now, once I have USD or US dollars in my Coinbase account, I transfer that back into my bank account via ACH or whatever method I choose, right? ACH, wire transfer, any of the other ways that you can transfer money back into your Coinbase account. And guess what? There's even some accounts, like let's say BlockFi, where you don't even need to actually transfer back into a bank account. BlockFi, for example, is a bank in and of itself, and they have credit cards. So I could and they, by the way, pay you in Bitcoin as reward. So you get about 2 or 3% cash back in Bitcoin deposited in your account every time you use your credit card. So what's really cool is you don't even need it. You can just transfer US dollar coin back into your BlockFi account, go out and spend money on your credit card wherever you want, Starbucks, McDonald's, doesn't matter. And you can use your US dollar coin to pay off your credit card. So you don't even need to go back to USD if you don't want to. So all kinds of really cool stuff that's getting enabled with decentralized finance. That's why you got to play in this world. It's like you're going to play in it eventually anyways, because it's taking over the world of finance. Like you will do this. It's a question of, do you want to do it now and make a lot of money from it? Or do you want to do it later when everybody else is kind of, beat you to the punch and a lot of the opportunities aren't as promising. So that's why, again, everybody's going to be doing this within the next couple of years. It's just a question of you do it now and it can be extremely profitable for you.
Yeah. And I want to reiterate that you guys are at an amazing point in time, because probably less than 1 or 2% of the world knows about this. They don't even know about this. Yeah. They don't even know that you can get 39-40% on cash, like on a cash portfolio, like as if it was just dollars, It's incredible. And one thing I noticed that you just said, Kedrick, this I may not have picked up on this before, is you said you take your rewards and you turn them into USDT right away. Is this something you do weekly?
Yeah. So I typically will turn my mining rewards into assets I want to hold long term. Okay, what are assets that I believe in long term? Bitcoin, Ethereum, US dollar coin. Right. Like, I'll play a little bit into some of these other things, but like Bitcoin's not going anywhere. That's going to be here for a long time. And if it's here for a long time, guess what? It's going to be worth, in my opinion, worth a ton of money. Not financial advice, of course. And by the way, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, right? Full disclosures. I want to make sure that we're, operating appropriate here. This is all for education purposes. But in my opinion, Bitcoin's gonna be around for a long time. Ethereum's gonna be around for a long time, and I think they're gonna be really, really valuable in the future. Just my opinion. And US dollar coin, which is cash, right? It's no different than cash. But the difference is this particular type of cash you can go out and deposit places and earn 15 to 20% return on. So like try to do that in a bank account. Ain't gonna happen.
Right. That is so interesting. I don't think I had caught that little tiny detail until today. That let's say you generated, I don't know, let's say you generated let's just say $200 in a couple days time, and you take that 200 reward and you put it into USDT, assuming you didn't create another farm with it, right? Once you've built your set number of farms that you want, now you take that money and you put it into USDT or Bitcoin or whatnot. And of course, we don't want to get that detailed, but you could even make return on that money if you wanted to. But
well, you better.
Yeah,
you'd be crazy not to. You'd be crazy not to, right? So there's all kinds of ways that are, in my opinion, not that risky to be able to go out and, if I believe in Bitcoin long term, there's ways to go out and earn. If this is exactly what we do in the masterclass, what we teach you is like, don't just earn the profits. If you're going to keep it as crypto, go and you should make it working for you. There's no reason.
Keep working for you. Keep on working and working and working. Yeah,
of course. So you got interest, earning interest, which is where it's absolutely crazy.
Wow. Hey, I want to encourage you guys. You've got about 11 minutes here in this section of the Q&A to sign up for this masterclass that you can take as quick as you want. I mean, you don't have to wait 6 weeks. You can do all of that masterclass in a full weekend if you wanted to. I mean, if it were me, Kedrick, I'd be in my my bathrobe just studying this thing for the whole weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually do that. I do study it. And I'm still learning. I'm still in the process. I was telling Kedrick, I built a couple of yield farms the other day, and I'm still learning this, guys. It takes time to learn it, to really master it. There's only so much you can learn from even just one-time exposure to this masterclass. I would recommend be watching this masterclass several times. You do get lifetime access to it. So if you want to learn how to multiply your money and then take that money and multiply it again and again, then be sure to go to learnfromked.com.
Yes.
Learnfromked.com and join us in this amazing journey where literally only maybe less than 1% of the world's population even knows.
We're still very early.
We're very early.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So we do have another question. Gary said, and you can take out loans, right? Once you've got those rewards, you can even take out loans against those rewards.
Yeah, no
that's
doubt.
DeFi as well. So Roberto had a question, or I'm sorry, a comment. He said, that answer on changing coins back to cash was super simple to understand. Thanks for the great answers, Dave and Ked. Just bought the course. I'm in. Congratulations, Roberto.
Love it. Welcome.
Yeah, we love hearing that. And you're now part of literally less than 1% that know this stuff. So
yeah, exactly. And again, Roberto, I look forward to interacting with you in the Facebook group. Again, that's it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of is the community that we're building. And it's fun. It's really, really fun when you're not just I mean, first of all, it's super useful because you're not out on your own trying to figure this stuff out. Plus, we're all jamming on this. Like it's once you actually start making money from this, it's super fun, right? It's extremely fun. And so I look forward to having you in the community and interacting with you there. So for everybody else who's not joined, I mean, look, I would value the opportunity to become your Sherpa when it comes to learning this stuff. So if you haven't already done so, again, go to learnfromked.com right here, learnfromked.com. Hopefully we got the link in there so you can just click it and join up and sign up now. Again, this offer that you're seeing here is limited time. So please go to learnfromked.com to be able to actually access this offer at this price point.
Yeah, we're about to get into some of the questions that were asked during the week. Before we do that, Joy had a question. I need a day to get the funds. Can I be locked into the bonus? Joy, we will note your name and make sure that you get all the bonuses because we will have this offer up over the next 3 days. But just so we make sure that you do get locked into that, I'm writing your name down right here. And the answer is yes, you will get the bonuses. We'll make sure of it. So thank you for asking that question. Now let's get to some of these questions that were asked during the week. This person said, this question is a little off topic and you will see it as either naive or smart. A person can trade some cryptocurrency in a self-directed IRA. Can yield farms be done inside a self-directed IRA that you are aware of?
It's not, it's a really smart question.
Smart question. Yeah.
So the answer is yes. In fact, I have set up a self-directed IRA so that I can so what that means for everybody is everybody's probably familiar with IRAs, individual retirement accounts, probably familiar with 401ks as well. And this applies to self-directed 401ks, also applies to self-directed Roth IRAs and self-directed Roth 401ks. Okay. And so once you set that up, this is actually exactly what I did is when I was getting started, is I wanted to be able to take, once this was working, I was like, well, I'd be insane to like go out and try to let that money do what it's doing in traditional finance. I'm going to put it into yield farming. And so, so I set up a self-directed IRA. I used a firm in Florida. I want to say it's like IRA Financial or something like that, to get started. It cost a couple $100. And then what they do is they set up the entity for you, right? It's really simple. You pay them a couple $100, they set it up for you. And once that's set up, they, you have its own bank account. So the money, you just like any other bank account, you set up money with bank account. You do the exact same thing, right? What I described before. You set up a Coinbase account for your Roth IRA, transfer money in, turn it into crypto. And actually in MetaMask, you have the ability to actually very easily create other accounts. And so you can keep those funds separate, and it gets the tax treatment. It gets the tax treatment for that, Roth self-directed account.
That's
so
amazing.
You put it's fantastic. So that's like next level stuff. So I don't know about calling it naive. I think it's a brilliant question, and I think that's exactly the way to approach it. Is like when you can actually start doing that with self-directed funds, it's the returns here are insane, folks. Like, so you get the beneficial tax treatment with that. So very, very good question, and the answer is yes, resoundingly yes, you can do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's exciting, because now you're not even paying taxes on your gains until you. Yeah, that's
well,
amazing.
And if it's Roth IRA or Roth 401k money, you already paid the tax on it.
Right.
It's beautiful. I mean, that's next level stuff.
Yeah. All right, here's another question. Say you invest in an LP token for ETH/USDC, as you believe ETH is going up and you're bullish on it.
Yep.
How does impermanent loss work with this, as there is a stable coin? Or how does it work if ETH just pumps up and keeps going up? Will your supply of ETH go down to balance the stable coin?
Yes, that's a great question. And so we're going to get a little bit technical, so bear with me, everybody. Okay. So what we're talking about is we are acting like a market maker for Ethereum and USDC, US dollar coin, which is a stable coin. Okay. Now, when we deposit money into an automated market maker, what happens is as the price of Ethereum either goes up or down. So let's say the price of Ethereum goes up. What happens is you're actually selling some of your Ethereum. Okay. You're selling some of your Ethereum. You're not doing it. The automated market maker is doing it automatically, selling some of your Ethereum to buy US dollar coin, so that the value denominated in dollars. So we're talking dollars. The value always has to be equal on both sides. You have to have equal amount of dollars in Ethereum and equal amount of dollars in USDC at all points in time. And this happens in real time. This is happening. Okay. This is what's called an automated market maker. It's that's what's happening. So if Ethereum goes up in value, right, then some of your Ethereum will be used to buy up US dollar coin. So you sell down the Ethereum, you will have less Ethereum and more USDC. Now, what that does is it has the effect of kind of muting price movements, right? So, it works. On the upside, it means you're losing on a potential upside from just compared to holding Ethereum. And on the downside, you're not losing as much as if you were just holding Ethereum. Okay. So it can be a really good way to be able to make money if Ethereum is going sideways for a long period of time, which could happen, right? I mean, there's in the overall markets, probably that's a great time to yield farm. If we're in a sideways market, that's amazing. So, so you can do that. Now, if you are really bullish on Ethereum, the other thing you can do is instead of just, again, I want to qualify, it's not financial advice, right? There is some risk associated with this, and that's why the masterclass covers exactly this, right? So if you're bullish on Ethereum, you might want to have exposure, perfect exposure to Ethereum's upside if you think it's going to go up from here, right? So instead of buying Ethereum and USDC and being a market maker for those two assets, what you could do is you could buy Ethereum. And again, this is kind of a little bit more next level stuff. But again, what we cover in the course, we take it slow, but we build up to this type of stuff. What you could do is buy some Ethereum and something, an asset called ETH2xFly. Okay, what is ETH2xFly? Well, ETH2xFly is actually a token that is designed to move either to the upside or the downside 2 times what Ethereum is doing. So it's like if ETH goes up 10%, ETH2xFly goes up 20%. Now, the drawback is if ETH goes down 10%, ETH2xFly goes down 20%. Okay, but it's a way for you to, if you believe Ethereum's going up from here, be able to earn really juicy fees. And the fees on some of those automated market maker pools are, 50, 100%. So very, very amazing returns. And if we're going sideways for a long period of time, really interesting. But yeah, so that's a way. But again, if ETH explodes in value, then what happens is your ETH2xFly, your ETH goes up 10%, but your ETH goes up, let's say in the example of ETH goes up 10%, the ETH2xFly goes up 20%. And what'll happen is some of your ETH2xFly will be sold for Ethereum, which is what you ultimately care about and want to own anyways. And so if you're bullish on it, that's a cool way to be able to play that particular market, is to actually, one, kind of have your cake and eat it too, right? You're earning fees and you've got not just exposure, but like supercharged exposure to Ethereum. So if you are very confident Ethereum is going to go up in value by a lot in a certain period of time, right? And if you think it's going to happen next year, maybe it's not the right play. But if it's going to happen in the next month or two, then that's a really interesting play. Again, not financial advice, right? I'm talking about some products, because again, if ETH were to go down 10%, then ETH2xFly is going to go down 20%. Okay, so there is risk in that play, but it's really amazing kind of what's possible here, and why this is like a space that you got to be paying attention to, right? So a bit more next level stuff. Great question, but I want to answer it as accurately as I can, right? So
that is so great. The funny thing is, every single time I can say this to you all, every single time I get on with Kedrick, I learned something brand new that's blowing my mind, like this ETH2xFly.
Yeah.
2xFly. I was like, I've never even heard of that, let alone imagined that. And see, here's the thing about being a part of our masterclass is that Kedrick is on the cutting edge. He's got his finger on the pulse of this stuff. Like, this is what he lives and breathes every day.
My job. Yeah.
Right. It's his job. And especially the hedge fund part. I would like to hear a little bit more about just what is involved in a hedge fund. This is just for my illumination, but also for people to understand that this is a very serious and a very big deal to be running and working a hedge fund like that. But the point is, he's got his finger on the pulse. He's on the cutting edge. He knows this stuff as it's coming out. And because it's a fast changing environment, very fast changing world, you need somebody like Kedrick in your corner if you're going to be successful at a big level. So I want to encourage you to visit learnfromked.com and go ahead and sign up for this masterclass. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have really no risk in getting involved. And you get all of this that you see on the screen. You get the 6-week masterclass. You get the tracking templates to help you track your investments, your yield farms, the step-by-step guides that literally tell you point and click here and there, the yield farming funding hacks, which is how to get that money to be able to start your yield farms. And then, of course, the private Facebook group, which is invaluable as well. So that's learnfromked.com. I still have more questions. And
I got time for it, please.
Yeah, great. Well, we have a couple people, and I just want to call them out. Thank you, Joy. Joy said, "Can I be locked into the bonus if I just needs a day to get the funds?" So yeah, absolutely, we can do that for you. And part of it is we appreciate that you were here live. We appreciate that you're here live and really serious about this. So absolutely, we're willing to do that. Salma Ali as well said, "Can you lock me into the bonus too? Needs a day or so." So yeah, we're definitely willing to accommodate you all that are here on the live event. Not everybody, decided to show up. Some of these people will see it in the replay, which is fine. But for those of you that are here live, we want to give you a preferential treatment.
Yeah.
So here's another question. Ideally, it's best, I think, to single token stake. But if the certain token does not offer it, is this what will happen? Oh, I think that's a continuation of the last question where we were talking about ETH versus another stable coin.
Yeah.
That's a continuation of that question.
Yeah, I mean, look, your single asset staking is going to give you good yields, but not as high as it when you're actually pairing it with something else. And so, that's why, like, if you believe in two particular assets a lot, let's say like Ethereum and like something called convex finance, something you'll learn about in the actual masterclass, really good quality assets, and you believe in them long term. If you're pairing them up together and you're like, I want to hold both of these for a long time, what the returns you can earn, like the interest you can earn on those is very high, and typically higher than what you're getting from like single asset, what's called a single asset staking farm, right? So it's not to say don't do it, and there's all the ways to be able to kind of play that game, right? Kind of what I was talking about earlier about the ETH2X fly type stuff, where you're still got exposure. In fact, you got supercharged exposure to a particular asset. So there's all kinds of ways to do this, right? And there's all kinds of flavors, and that's what makes it cool and so exciting and so promising is that, and that's why this stuff is going to be, you will be able to make money from yield farming for at least the next 15 years. Full stop. No question in my mind. Absolutely.
Wow, 15, that's a lot.
No question. Yes. That's
at least 15.
At least 15 years, because of the fact how the internet is changing. Web3, decentralized finance, is a subset of, is all about the internet becoming decentralized. It means spread out. It means the power of how these different projects and products run is in our own hands. That also means the value creation or the ways people are making money is in our own hands, right? And that's what's happening with yield farming. Yield farming is market making. It's been around for 300 years, 500 years. It's been around forever, right? It's just, typically been played by the role of bankers, who are the middlemen, who help buyers buy and sellers sell. Well, that's what we're doing with yield farming. We're just helping buyers buy and sellers sell for cryptocurrencies, okay? So it's a proven business model. We've been around for a long time. And that's why I'm saying, hey, we're going to be able to play this game for a long time. That's why I'm saying, do the math. Just go out and get 20% returns. Start with $1,000. Get 20% returns over 15 years. You know what that comes out to be? $1,000, 15 years. You get 20% returns of 15 years. $144,000. Starting with just getting 20% returns.
Just right? A one-time 1,000?
$1,000. Don't invest anymore. Just get that compounded interest with 20%. Okay, I'm talking about how you can do that with stable coins. Like, that's why, like, if you're still watching this, like, clearly you think there's something going on here. That's what I'm saying. Like, I come give me the opportunity to teach you this stuff. If you're not happy, we're giving your money back. Okay, you know who I am. I have other businesses here. The last thing I'm going to do is want somebody that's pissed off at what we're teaching you. But this is what we do this professionally, and we're teaching. It's like, oh, I don't know if that's ever happened before. We're opening up how do we actually do this, manage other people's money with this exact same approach. So again, go to learnfromked.com. You're getting total value of $11,485 for $997. So this is a special deal that Dave has hooked up for you guys. We don't normally offer at this price. So again, this is why this stuff is so powerful. And I don't know of a better way to be able to make money than this. I just don't. I think it's the best way that I've ever heard of or come across.
It's amazing. It's knowing the buttons to click and where to click them to create money machines.
Yes,
Basically, is what you're doing. It's incredible.
That's right.
We did have not a question, but we had a request from Bill. Thank you, Bill Hornbuckle, just calling you out. He said, if possible, I would like to get locked into the bonuses as well. So we're giving actually several people, and I've wrote them all down, the opportunity to lock in the bonuses, take a day or two to get the investment to invest in the masterclass. So I appreciate that.
I'd say just make sure you get it done before it closes down. I think before we close down the Facebook group. So as long as you do it before then, you're going to be okay. But some people have come, I just want to call that out. Just before the Facebook group gets closed down.
Stand by here. Let me get a sip of water here. All right, dealing with some allergies. So here's another question. How do you research finding different yield farm sites? Is 2 sites enough? 5 sites enough? And that goes with another question that we had on how does one perform research due diligence on these yield farming platforms? So we did already cover due diligence in video number 2. But if you can maybe give us a little higher level of the question, how do you research finding different yield farming sites?
By the way, so that's a key aspect of the masterclass, right? We're providing the resources that we use to actually go out and find farms, right? This is the same resources that we're using. And I wish I could say, oh, you're going to be fine with 2. Oh, you're going to be fine with 5. The answer is you're not, because it's changing so quickly. So our list grows. And as our list goes, we share that within our community. We share that when we update our resources. And so ultimately, you want to have as many as possible, right? How many is that? As many as possible is the right answer. And it's more than 5, that's for sure. The reason being is what we're trying to do is, and I mentioned this before, it's something in the industry called increasing your risk-adjusted returns. And all that means is I want to make as much money as possible for taking a certain level of risk, right? By having more sites, it gives us more opportunities to find different farms, which again, what drives risk? What do I need to hold and where do I need to hold it? Okay. And by doing that, by having more opportunities, more kind of surface area to be able to identify different farms, it ultimately helps us make more money without having to take on any more risk, right? So that's why you got to have as many sites as possible. And to answer the next part of that question, which is like, how do you determine risks? That's what the masterclass is designed to do, right? We know how much we're going to make. We know because it's advertised on the site. We can see, okay, this is paying out whatever, 300%. This is paying out 75%. Okay, so we know how much we're going to make. So what's the other half of that? Well, how much? It's always risk return. We know what the return is. So now it gets into the risk. And that's really what the masterclass is designed for. This is where the pros make their money, is being able to manage those risks, understand those risks. And so that's why we go through in excruciating detail to try to help spell that out. How do I identify risk? How do I mitigate impermanent loss risk? How do I mitigate contract hack risk? How do I mitigate rug pulls? There's different ways and tricks of the trade to help you do that. And that is what the masterclass is designed to help you do. Okay. Is to be able to manage those risks. And once you understand the risks and how to mitigate them, then you are prepared to go out and select a yield farming portfolio that actually matches your risk reward profile. And that's different for everybody. And again, I can't tell you what that is, right? Ultimately, you're the one that has to determine what makes sense for you. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you the education to empower you to be able to help make you life-changing money here. Okay. And that's what we're designed for. That's what it has worked successfully with, right? We've got lots of people in our community who are doing this, right? It's not just like some fairy tale stuff. This is working, folks, right? This is working. That's why we're able to build a hedge fund. It's not because it's not working. Like, people we take money from are very, very smart. And so it's not easy to get to have them want to invest with you, but it's working. And the people who are in, the testimonials, unprompted testimonials of people like, this is amazing. Like, it's like their mind is blown when they actually realize this is the real deal. Because again, I'm a skeptic, right? I'm the one that's like, I mean, there's so many fads out there, so many like this and that. And like, it's why when I actually found something that's the real deal, I go nuts over it, because it's like, this finally we found something that actually works. Okay. And so that's what we're trying to do, is I'm trying to help teach you everything that I know about how to manage this and make yourself successful with this. Okay. And I have total confidence this will work for you. Okay. And if for whatever reason, this is why we do our money back guarantee. You know who I am. Look me up on LinkedIn. Like, you think I'm like, the last thing we want to do is have one person that's speaking badly about us. Like, that'd be catastrophic. Like, I've got a lot on the line here. And so that's why I'm confident in what we built. I'm confident it's working for us professionally. So, again, you can see why we've got a lot of value here. I mean, $11,045 of value that we're giving away for $997 today. So, you guys, if you haven't already done so and you're still here, please go to learnfromked.com, sign up, give me the opportunity to actually show this to you, show you how this whole thing works. Let me open up the curtain, show you how this world works. It's really bonkers.
Yeah, and there's zero risk to invest. You invest, you go in, check out the whole masterclass, all that kind of thing. There may be a situation where it's like, you know what, this feels a little too complicated for me, or maybe it's not, doesn't fit my personality. No worries, you get your money back.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
there's
In fact,
no risk.
I've had people who are like, it's crazy. I've actually had people who are like, hey, this looks awesome. I literally don't have time for this right now. Can I get my money back? And I'm like, sure, no problem. Send the money back. And then several months later, like, hey, this is like, can I come back in? Like, obviously it's different price points, but they come back afterwards and buy it again once they actually have the time to actually invest in it. Now, the price point, it does shift, right? So it's not normally this particular price point, but yeah, I mean, this is, I'm yet to have anybody be like, oh, that's not worth it for the price. Like, people, you'll get it. Like, you'll get it as soon as you come in.
Yeah.
And give
Very,
us
very understandable. And Kedrick makes it very easy. He makes the whole process very easy to understand, step by step. If you ever get stuck, go pop a question in the Facebook group. You're there, you're getting answers from Kedrick himself, as well as a lot of other people in the community that are a little further ahead, and they'll just answer your question right away as well. So I've noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got a couple more questions. Joy says, on average, how much time do I spend a week managing each yield farm?
Yeah. So let me talk about that personally. For the hedge fund, I mean, we spend more time on that every single day, but that's to manage other people's money. Personally, and this has always been the case, like, once I set my farms up, personally, I spend about an hour to an hour and a half per week. Typically, it's right for me, it's like Fridays after we put the kids to bed. My wife will veg out with Netflix, and I'll pop over my computer and I'll go through and I'll manage my farms. And ultimately what that means is, what I'm going through is I'm trying to check all my different personal yield farms of, hey, is it paying what it should be paying for the risk that I'm taking in that particular farm? If it's not, then I'll tear down that farm and I'll build something else. If it is, I'll be like, cool, then I'll withdraw my rewards, let those all stack up. And at the end of my session, about an hour and a half session, I'll sell my rewards into whatever asset I want to hold, right? Typically, I'll sell it to Bitcoin or Ethereum or US dollar coin. But it's, for me personally, for my personal yield farms, it's about an hour to an hour and a half per week.
That's amazing. And that's 22 yield farms. It just takes an hour and a half. That's just unbelievable. So all you're doing really is you're just kind of monitoring to make sure that the risk adjusted return is still where you want it to be. And if not, maybe you move it into another yield farm or whatever, but
that's right.
I mean, it's really that simple.
Yes, that's right.
Monitoring this. So what I love about this is, A, I need to know where to click and how to click, where to put my money, and B, once a week, I'm monitoring and managing and just making sure everything is still the way I originally thought. And if not, I move things around. That's incredible. That's an incredible, let's call it a business that you're able to run
Yeah.
with so
I mean,
little
I don't know if
time.
you can call it a business. It's only an hour and a half a week, and it's producing that kind of cash flow.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's about as easy of a business I've ever seen in terms
Yeah.
of what, so it feels like something different. I mean, I've built businesses before. This sure feels a lot easier.
Absolutely. Let's see. I got some other questions here. This person said, Dave Espino, I still don't understand. When I farm a product of 500 APY, but I decide to withdraw for less than a month, will my reward still be calculated with the 500 APY or reduced?
Okay, so I guess, and I don't. Let me answer it how I think it's what I think the question is asking.
I can clarify because I think I gave an answer. So let me clarify.
Okay, perfect.
The idea was if I get into a 500 APY farm, but I withdraw in less than a month, will I still receive 500 APY, or will it be less money?
Yes. So you're so the APY does not get affected by when you withdraw your LP tokens or rewards. That is completely separate. That is what that farm is paying, regardless of how long you're actually in that farm. Now, the APY does fluctuate within these farms, which is why you want to be checking on it weekly to make sure it's still paying you what it should be paying you. Okay, but yeah, it's not whether or not I pull my profits out daily or weekly or monthly is not going to affect how much what the APY is paying. Now, to kind of add on to that, maybe hopefully answer part of the other maybe aspect of the question, which is like, all right, so if you've got a farm that's paying 500% APY, is that how long will it typically pay in those ranges? And for me personally, when I yield farm, an extreme risk farm is typically, it's probably an extreme risk farm. You're probably having to, you're probably not owning blue chip crypto assets, probably owning other, potentially high quality assets, but not like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So if it's paying that much, I would expect it to be in that range for about 6 to 8 weeks, typically 6 to 8 weeks. Now, is it longer sometimes? Absolutely. Is it shorter sometimes? Absolutely. But like kind of, for the most part, it's probably in that range.
Great. We did have Dawn said, please lock me in. So I'm compiling a nice little list here.
Okay.
People who are locking in to bonuses. Again, we give you preferential treatment because you're here live in the event. You were serious enough to be here. He sees the wisdom in signing up. We'll be in touch within a couple days. He's mostly a hodler, crypto hodler. And he says, I suppose all these needed transactions have some cost. I trust the course will teach us how to control those. Thanks for the kind response to my self-directed IRA inquiry. So let's talk a little bit about the costs involved in these transactions, which are really minimal.
Yeah. So the first blockchain that we teach you to yield farm on is Ethereum. And if you're familiar with the fees on Ethereum, they're expensive, which is why one of the first things we do in the course is actually help you bridge. It's called bridge your assets, bridge your cryptocurrencies over to another blockchain like Polygon or Avalanche or Phantom, right? Where the actual cost of actually doing a transaction is pennies. So if you're farming on Ethereum, and I do have farms on Ethereum, to be clear, if you're farming on Ethereum, you have to worry about the actual transaction fees. If you're farming on literally any other blockchain, the fees are negligible. And when I mean negligible, I'm talking like under 5 cents, under 10 cents per transaction to actually do it. So
that's
you
incredible.
don't even think about it. It's like, all right, you're going to build a farm. It's going to cost you $1. Like it doesn't, you're building like not that many farms, right? So I have 22 yield farms. You're not going to you should never have 100 yield farms. That'd be crazy. It'd be way too much. You don't need to, right? We're not getting any more juice from having that many diversification juice from having that many yield farms. 20 to 25 is absolute max. So, if you're building, let's say that 25 yield farms on something other than Ethereum, it's probably going to cost you $25 total to build all of those yield farms. So it's really negligible. negligible cost.
By the way, that's a great question, Don, because, if you come from the traditional finance world, you're looking at 3, 6, 8% fees if you're buying like a mutual fund or stocks or whatever. So this should be really good news to somebody who's used to the traditional finance world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, the fees are negligible. To build a farm on anything other than Ethereum, to build a farm is going to cost you 50 cents.
Yep. All right. We have 2 questions left. Andrea, I want to apologize because I was looking for your question. I knew there was a question from Andrea, could not find it until I went into this full screen mode, and I see it here. So I like this question. Where's the best site to start for testing the safest and easiest yield farming site, I guess, for beginners?
So the first thing that you do when you join is what's called the One Farm Challenge. And there's a particular yield farm. It is a single-sided, single asset yield farm that I think is a very, very high quality, interesting project. Okay. I won't give anything more than that. But the first thing you do is within 45 minutes, you're making money. So I'm not let me repeat that. Within 45 minutes of signing up, if you jump right in and you do the One Farm Challenge, you're going to be making money within 45 minutes. Okay.
Amazing.
So it's it's literally walks you step by step exactly what to do so that you start making money. Most important thing is let's get you starting to make money immediately. Because I know once you're making money, guess what? You're going to be stoked. You will be excited and jazzed up to go through the materials. Now the materials aren't hard, but it's always nice to have motivation, right? And so that's why we focus on that. So I would say that particular farm is what I would recommend to get started with, to start making some really interesting returns. So I'll leave it at that. But again, guys, if you've not already done so, again, you clearly think there's something interesting here, and I highly recommend not waiting, right? I highly recommend going right now to learnfromked.com, getting started with this. If you're here, you have time to listen to me talk. How about instead of that, just go out and get started. Sign up right now and just build your first yield farm. Go through the One Farm Challenge and get started, right? You clearly think there's something here interesting. It's a money back guarantee. You know who I am. Look me up on LinkedIn. There's nothing else I'm going to tell you that you're not going to be able to get from the actual masterclass and specifically the One Farm Challenge. So I'd recommend going right now, go to learnfromked.com and sign up, jump into this right now, get your first yield farm built tonight, right? Why not? You clearly think there's something interesting here. Get it built tonight, have it start making money for you so that tomorrow morning you wake up and you're like, hey, this guy actually was, he was talking the real deal here. And you see for yourself that this is working, this is making money. And you've got, going into the weekend, you got all the jazz you need to actually do this. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. I've never seen you're going to be in DeFi eventually, full stop. Now, the question is, are you going to do it now and be able to have the potential to make a tremendous amount of money, or are you going to wait? But eventually you're going to have to do this anyways, because this industry is not going to stop. It's going to take over and disrupt traditional finance. I am 100% confident of that. So if you're going to have to do this eventually anyways, you might as well jump into it, learn it now, have the potential to make a ton of money, and be able to tell your friends about it and be able to tell them, be like, hey, guess what I'm doing? That's one of the cool things of this. One of the people who actually take the course is they're like, it's fun, right? It's fun. Once you're through it and you're successful with it, being able to be like, hey, by the way, guess what I learned? I just picked up, I'm on the cutting edge of finance. And people are gonna be like, they're going to ask you to teach them. And that's the coolest thing. That's all. I want to turn you into a teacher. That'd be amazing if you want to do it, if you want to do that. So anyways, if you're here, go to learnfromked.com. You get an $11,485 value that you're getting for $997. This is not the normal price. And plus my bonus offer, the Ked's personal yield farm portfolio picks. Okay. So go right now, sign up, I know that we're coming to the soon going to be coming to the end of this thing. So, why not? Like if you're here, you still think there's something interesting. Why not jump into this and get your first Yield Farm live tonight, right now? Start making
Absolutely.
money right now. It's going to literally, the One Farm Challenge is 43 minutes long. So, I'm not sure what else you'd look for. I'm not gonna be able to tell you anything else that you're not going to learn from the masterclass.
And it's the best investment you can make is investing in your own knowledge, your experience, and your ability to, in this case, what we're learning is, excuse me, we're learning how to multiply money. We're learning how to set up money machines, passive incomes. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, Kat, I had one other question, but I'm going to have you answer it in the group itself because it was a little more technical, and I think this would be a good place to finish up our call here. So, want to thank everybody for joining us. My voice is going. I've got these allergies going on. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Especially want to thank everybody for your kind thoughts and prayers for Kedrick's mom.
Thank you.
And really appreciate that and appreciate your patience hanging in there with us, over the last several days so we could present this to you. So thank you, everybody. And we wish you a great evening. For those of you, I've written down your names, those of you that want us to lock you into the bonuses. Thank you for showing up live. We really appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you soon in the Facebook group. The group will be open for another several days, 3 days, at which point we will shut down the group and we will start working with the people that have come on board and helping you to be successful with yield farming. So
yeah, and just to clarify, this boss private Facebook group, that is a separate Facebook group that's exclusively for paid members of our community or people who get the special offer. Okay, so and that's open forever. I just want to call that difference out. The group that you're in right now will be shut down. That will go away. Okay, and so if you want to become part of this, then we'll get you into this other Facebook group, which is that's our community. That's where we're always going to have that. So, so I want to call that out.
All right. Well, that's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hope you got all your questions answered.